The Star.
Yeah, y'all already know. Seven the Panther. That dude Biz on the beat. Yeah. We live in entertainment. Sound change. Crown the kings, homie. This is where it get ill. About to have the tip off live as a tip drill. From the court to the diamond, to the track, to the big skin, flying around the field, starting five forever, keeping it real. If it matters in the world of sports, jeans and long sleeves, they taking no shorts. Hot the depot, yes, these are the sports podcasts, live as a pro's corpse. Biz market wave, the starting five goes off. No matter who you cheer for, emotions out the window, they analyzing with clear thoughts. They take it way deeper than the boys ever. No longer got any use for them four letters. The latest news, score stats and the view from the sideline. Ain't no guideline, it's just the truth. Yeah, no need to dig for a pardon line. It's always in season if people start five. We going in on three, run the baseline, start five. We got what you need. If the sports news you see, we don't waste time. We talking cause we live it. We got what you need. We going in on three, run the baseline, start five. We got what you need. And y'all know me, seven sign, I'm the illest cat stick. I got what you need.
Oh yeah, we back. Just like some semblance of a regular NBA season is now back because that damn fucking tournament is over. That a lot of people didn't understand what the fuck and how that shit was even created. But we'll get there in a little bit because we got some legacy building to talk about. You know, fucking the city of Los Angeles is going crazy right now as far as money being thrown around. Well, yeah, money being thrown around. But there ain't none of it coming my way. Your boy, the mayor, that DJ named H5, your mom's favorite fat guy, all the way from definitely deepest, darkest, nasty ass Africa. Well, Paul's not nasty Africa, but like weather-wise, shit sucks. The shit sucks. And we back with the newest episode of Star 5. As always, as Tyrone loves the box, and he got it today. Hit that hooksrub.com. 20% off your order using the code STARTING5. But he's here with me right now. TJ's coming in a little while. Jamal is on a movie assignment, and Big O will be here when Big O will be here. What up, Tyrone?
What's up? I'm glad to be here. Nothing exciting happened for me this week. I'm kind of like posting at work, so ain't nothing really going on. I'm just getting ready for the holidays and just chilling, doing my normal, usual bullshit. No.
Yeah, I got you now. My bad. I was just taking my headphones off because I realized these Beats headphones kind of suck when it comes to this. The regular Mac microphone, when I don't feel like wearing my other headphones, works better than the Beats headphones. But I digress on that. But how you been, good brother?
Chilling, man. Just working and talking shit. That's all I do.
Pretty much. Staying controversy free this week.
Controversy, though. I don't think it's controversy. I mean, I'm here to stir the pot up, but I'm also here to intelligently state my, it ain't stupid. It may be wrong. It may be fucked up. It may be a different angle, or it may be misunderstanding, but it's never stupid. You know what I mean? So I try to,
Good brother. What up, Curtis? You gotta enlighten me. You gotta enlighten me on it. What podcasts are making diss tracks right now? Like, what is this podcasters that I don't listen to? Is this famous podcasters? I don't know nothing about that right now.
Because if it's Joe Buttons, I'll get on the mic right now on him.
Yeah, I don't even think you would really want that smoke if he decided to unretire to battle you.
Please, I'll eat Joe Buttons up. He don't know Liz Delicious.
They said it. May it don't slim down as much as Reverend now. Trust me, I'm not even trying hard in the weight loss. It's just falling off. Like I said, I guess like most black folks, I don't go to the doctor. Maybe I should to find out if I got something that's killing me. But yeah, I'm still I'm around like 300 right now. I haven't jumped on the scale recently. I fucking also like I realized I'm not eating the way I used to either. Like which we know it ain't good. I've kind of been only leaving myself to where I've been eating like 2 times a day. Because that's if I wake up early enough to truly have like breakfast like I would want to. Or and then usually I'm eating enough that holds me down to where when I get to work and I'm having lunch at work or dinner at work or whatever, like then that's it. And that's like my second thing. Like I haven't been on like eating all the fuck like bags of chips and having like all types of drinks and shit like that each and every day like I used to. So, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that it is it's a level of brokenness that I can't afford to buy the shit. I know my stomach feels a little bit small in certain ways. No, I didn't go get any surgeries, which I wouldn't which I was considering at one time. You know what I'm saying? But he says take your natural time. A checkup is always good, especially for we people who are darker than blue.
Mhm. But speaking of eating, I gotta eat some. I gotta get my hooks, rubs, and spices on because I got a crow sandwich I gotta eat because remember I was talking shit about Starfield and
Yeah.
well, I decided to go back in and venture into it again, and now I'm like, I can't stop. I'm picking up shit. I found out that the shit that you pick up is very useful in your everyday explorations. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you might meet somebody and they be like, "Hey, excuse me, my daughter's very thirsty, but she needs a cup." And then I got the cup and shit. So it's like it's been a lot of shit like that that's been going on with the game. And so now I'm like all the way in it. And I found out you can pick up the food and you can cook the food and put it on the tray and serve somebody the food with the tray. And stuff. It's a lot of shit going on with that game. But I was in it for about 3 hours the other night, and now I gotta officially say that maybe I was wrong, and I'm gonna get the hooks tonight and make me a big old crow sandwich. Cause that Starfield game is not, it's pretty good now that I realized that I was just giving up too quick.
No, I could dig it. I could dig it. This brother said he said I got beans and bologna. I was just looking for that damn song too. I was just looking for that song, which is fucking hilarious. But yeah, no, I mean, I've been hearing again. It's Starfield is a type of game, a style of game I can't play because I definitely get sick of the open world motion. I I was actually watching my coworker last night. My partner he was on the shift with me, and I forgot the machine that he bought. It was kind of like it was a bigger like again, I forgot the brand, but if you're familiar with like the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally system, they look like Nintendo Switches. They're handheld computers that you could play. Pretty much people use them for mobile gaming. And he was playing Lies of P, and I'm sitting there like, yo, this shit looks dope, but god damn it, like I can't find 50 to 100 hours of my life to dedicate to a video game anymore. And I don't say this in no shade because I consider myself an OG gamer. You know what I'm saying? Like we talked about it just the other week. How many fucking systems I had, how many systems I still want. My quest to get the PS5, but there's only certain types of games that I could play. I want to see some of this Starfield footage. Like I'll probably look up some shit on YouTube maybe later when I'm doing laundry or some shit just to see what it is because the reviews is like the way I'm hearing about it, especially when I'm listening to certain game podcasts, it's either you love it and it's really good, or it's like Jay-Z said, he's all right, but he's not real. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that good of a game. Like, a lot of people have been trashing it more than praising it. Like, even the video game awards that just happened, like, I heard that they really took home nothing.
It's not a Yeah, it's not no war. I wouldn't say because you got so many games like it. You know what I mean? Like Destiny is kind of. That's why I didn't want to play it no more because I'm like, yo, Destiny is better than this because Destiny gets you right into the action. Even though Destiny is kind of like Starfield, you get stuff, you can build new helmets, you can build new clothes, but Destiny gets you more into the action. Where Starfield is more like a human element to it where it's more like you got to talk to people, you got to make relationships, you got to build relationships, and then they send you on missions. You can choose, do you want to help this person or not? Do you want to betray this person and stuff like that? So it's more like a human element to it. So I can see where it'll make some people who've been playing Destiny feel like this is slow. And I'd rather play Destiny because that's what type of time I was on. But I'm the type of dude that like if I spend my money on something, I gotta like get something out of it. So that's the only reason why I really went back. And now I'm finding out that I'm not saying it's a great game, but what I'm saying is my criticisms of it may have been a little premature. But I'm still not on like it's a great game. I'm just saying that the shit that I was complaining about, I realized that I was only complaining about it because I didn't know what was the purpose of it. And now that
Right.
I found out, I'm like, okay, I'm in a better space with it now. You know what I mean?
No, I can dig it, and I get it. It's like I understand when people want to like lock into a game. So I get the you need to beat it. You got to play almost 40. I mean, at least most of these games now, at least a minimum of like 50 to 60 hours. I keep hearing, but I just personally can't. Like I'm good for like, let me sit down for an hour or two and play fucking, get a game of Madden in. If I don't want to break my curse of winning, I'll play two. I mean, if I don't want to break my curse of winning, I play one game, I turn it off. If I start losing, I turn it off. Like I can't keep going for the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'll at least try to get one in. I still haven't picked back up my AEW game, though I need to because I was just reminding myself the other day. I was like, yo, I haven't played this in a couple months since I got it, but I'm still sticking to the fact of like, I'm never buying another 2K WWE game again. Like, I'm not because that simulator style of wrestling just wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. And even on the easiest fucking modes, like it wasn't, it was still difficult to play, but I don't like that like simulator where it's like, okay, you get thrown in a move and then out of nowhere, it's like triangle pops up and then it gives you like a half a second to fucking hit triangle on time. Like my fucking reflexes ain't as fast anymore at my old ass age. You know what I'm saying? My hands don't work as quick in that moment. They work quicker in other ways, adult stuff. But I digress. I'm not playing WWE 2K games no more. I've never been a fan, honestly, of 2K games since NFL 2K on the Dreamcast. I just
Um,
didn't like something about that style. Like I downloaded NBA 2K. Nah, I'm not like the rest of the world. I don't need that game.
I can't I did
I'm with it, Curtis.
I can't function. You know what I'm saying? It's like this. It's like I said the same thing. Okay, I'm not buying NBA 2K, right? But then as the NBA season starts, as I get on the game and I see, my people that's on the Xbox Live and I see they playing 2K, and then I know that 2K stopped the servers for the earlier ones. So you gotta have the new one to be on the servers. And then I just get caught back up. I just be like, oh, everybody's playing 2K. I'm going to play it. And then the same thing with the wrestling game. I always say every year, I'm not buying no more wrestling games. They're always the same. The shit always glitch. I'm tired of wrestling games, tired of wrestling games, tired of wrestling games. And then halfway into it's out for about 2 or 3 months, and I'm like, I see people playing it, I see people talking about it, and I'm one of those dudes, that's like, oh no, ain't nobody about to be talking about no game I ain't got. You know,
Yeah,
like,
and that's where
bro.
and that's where we're different because if
I
the
get
masses run to it, that usually kind of draws me to stay away from. Depending, unless it was some shit that I was truly waiting for, I stay away from. Like, and I'm about to get to that comment in a second, but like, to be honest with you, like I was debating, like when I first got the PS5, and it was WWE 2K22. I think that was either the first or second one back from like almost 2 years off, because all it was with that game that I heard was problem after problem after problem every year that they released that game. I think until 2019 was like the most atrocious one, and then they took some time off, came back. But I only bought that game and downloaded that game because shout outs to former guest and the homie Lord Demetrius on TikTok. He made me a character in that game. That's the only reason. And I will repeat, that's the only reason why I bought that game, because he made a character of me in the game. So then I had to go download the game. I had to buy it. I bought it digitally, which, because if I'm buying the game digitally, that means like I don't care, because something happens, it gets lost in translation, whatever. You want to put licensing breaks and stuff on us, that it's like, cool. I'll lose it. I lose it. You know what I'm saying? I think only 1 year I bought one copy of Madden digitally because I couldn't get to the stores or whatever. But I only bought that game because he added me in it. I found his creator profile once he got his creator profile approved. And I played with myself. I played with myself. But we kind of, I mean, good way to lead in talking about this shit, because he said everything is a damn upsell. I'm not with it. Speak on that GTA trailer, please. I wish I could fucking play Grand Theft Auto. That's one of those games that gets me sick. And I don't mean like it gets me sick like, yo, I'm pissed off. No. Physically, visually, I can't spend more than 30 minutes looking at a game like that without having the feeling of I need to throw up.
Oh,
But that GTA 6 does look fire. And shouts out to Jamal, because didn't he try to speak that into existence at the convention this year?
I, I love I love games like that. Like the same thing with Destiny, Grand Theft Auto, those games that you do have to devote a lot of time to playing them, but you don't have to. Like I play Destiny and I go on Destiny and I go, oh shit, it's 18 missions I can do to get to this point. I'm gonna do two of them, and I go do those two missions. I get off. I can always go back to it. It's always there. I can always play. Grand Theft Auto is one of those games, but for me, I always go in and I just do. I say, okay, I got two missions. Bam, I'm gonna knock out those missions. I'm not one of those dudes that just go in and just spend hours and hours running around doing random shit. I'm the mission guy. I'm the guy that's going to, get the story, do the missions, beat the game, and then after that, the replay value of it is so great because you can go back in and just spend an hour just doing some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like when I'm not in my game mode and I just want to play, I just go in for an hour, I do some bullshit. Whatever I want.
And that's the ill thing that they set up with this last Grand Theft Auto 5. And shout outs to Ed. He said, I get motion sickness playing GTA, but I'm willing to risk it all for GTA 6. I am not willing to risk it all, but I get the exact same thing. That's why I brought your comment up. But Kurt, you made a comment about some shit that I'm gonna bring it up in a minute. But yo, I was gonna say that's the ill shit about how Grand Theft Auto set themselves up with their servers and all of that shit. Yo, number one, people found ways to make a killing off of that game. People make a killing off of like fucking building accounts, selling them. Like my boy Willie used to do that shit with one of the Star Wars PC games back in the day, and his Warcraft games back in the day. Like he used to fucking build his account, and you could sell the accounts for like a few $1,000s. You know what I'm saying? But people made like, yo, like when we talk about like using like the Oculus and other VR shit like that, like people have turned Grand Theft Auto into somewhat of a virtual online world. Like you see people out there, like there's some people out there that just go out and just be cops and arresting people in the game. There's some people who just go out and be store owners in the game. You know what I'm saying? There's some people that fucking all they do is go do crimes. All they do is just steal cars. Some people love to build their big ass mansions and shit like that. And and fucking buy the cars and then just street race or just drive around the whole map. Like there is, I get it. Like there's so much to do now in games like that because people made them their own worlds. You know what I'm saying? People made them their own worlds, and that's dope. But like I wanted to get back to this here. He said, I think there's going to be some type of class action lawsuit against the gaming companies for 2K, Madden, WWE, etc. It's really not worth buying every year. I feel it's a screw job. Dude, I've been saying this, and you could, if my boy Willie was here, he could testify. I've been saying this for, I couldn't tell you how long, well, plus a decade, over a decade plus. I've been saying shit like this. Number one, even though we can get screwed by like licensing and things like that when it comes to digital downloads, these gaming companies could stop selling physical media and just do download only. I've always said this, especially about Madden, Tyrone. Madden could just make the John Madden Ultimate Edition or the Master Edition to where now you just have the base of the game. But then each and every year that Madden comes out, or they want to redo Madden, all they have to do is just sell a $40 or $50 season upgrade pack. But you got to keep up with the upgrade pack to be able to, so they can do the same things of you want to get into the new servers, you just got to download the upgrade pack. But you never have to continue to keep buying the same game over and over every year. They want to add new mechanics, you just add it to the next year's thing. And they can just keep doing that. Well, what up, TJ?
What up, guys? How y'all doing? Hope I didn't miss much.
Nah, we are on video game talk right now.
This is the problem that I have with video game people, is that we forget the key elements of the fact that these companies are here to make money. It is a business, and so I don't get mad that Madden comes out every year and you got to buy a new Madden game because they're in the business of selling games. Why would they do anything convenient for us when they don't have to? And that's the problem. Us as a people will always say things like, oh, we're not going to support this company. Oh, we're going to boycott. Oh, we're not buying this. We're not buying that. And guess what we do? We still buy it. Madden is unstoppable, dude. They're going to come out every year with a new game, and they don't give a fuck because we're going to buy it. And their job is to make money. And if they know they got a cash cow, bro, they're going to use it. They're going to abuse the cash cow.
I know that. So we'll just end up taking this piece of this conversation to where I'm speaking for the people. You speaking on behalf of them fucking companies.
No. I'm speaking for the people too, because I am the people. I'm the same dude that'll go, fuck Madden, they abusing me. I ain't gonna buy it no more. I know they gotta make money. I know they cheat me. I know I'm being cheated. And I still go and buy the fucking Madden. So the people
we all do.
You know who ain't mad at it? The Madden family. Okay? That shit is stamped forever, like you said. It doesn't make sense not for it to come out every year because players change teams every year. New players come into the roster every year. It's always trying to evolve and get better and better. Plus, you see the games look like back when we were playing games, dog.
Oh,
you can't compare. You can't compare. The technology, the money for that technology is stupid.
The fucking them dumbass passing windows where it was XYA or XY or B.
It was the worst. It was the worst.
The graphics were trash. This was funny. He said off-season drug use and tricking if you press RB and X at the same time and add that in the game. And you gotta have like for 2K, like you gotta add live James Harden off season. survive AD ankle injury like usual. You know, can you outlive LeBron James in the league? make it to 25 seasons and you get like the ultimate fucking pass or weapon or some shit in the game. That shit would be
Melo finally gets a chip.
win chip with Patrick Ewing, Carmelo Anthony, and Charles Barkley on the same team.
Woo! I don't find what LeBron is doing to be so special. I mean, like guys like LeBron, guys like Kobe, guys like Jordan, guys that are dedicated to the sport could do the shit LeBron is doing. Kobe knew he was going out. He was ready to retire. Jordan wanted to retire. You know what I mean? But if Kobe said, "Hey, I want to play at a high level at 38," I'm pretty sure with the way he conditioned, the way he worked, he could have played at a high level at 38. You know what I mean? A lot of guys just get to an age where they don't give a fuck no more. They don't have nothing else left to prove, and they ready to go out. Like Dirk. Dirk could have still been good, but Dirk was like, "I'm retiring. I don't want to play no more. I'm just going to fucking have my farewell season." You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it, because it's hard for me to think that a professional athlete can play at a high level at 36 and 2 years later be on some bum shit. That's not realistic to me. They on bum shit because they don't care no more if they on their way out.
It's not realistic to you, but it is reality.
It's not.
It is reality.
Nobody wants to play at a high level at 38, 40 years old when they dedicated their whole life to it.
Warren Moon was still playing at a high level in the NFL at the age of 40. His talents and abilities have dipped off. But why it's different with LeBron James, and we're going to go right into this tournament situation, but why it's different with LeBron James is because night in and night out, he's making it look like he's outworking every 20-year-old in the league.
Because he has to, bro. He has to. If LeBron had fixed range right now and wasn't, if LeBron had fixed range right now and had all the accolades and there was no argument about him and Jordan and none of that, he probably retired, dude. He probably would retire.
Nah, I think he's still the same guy. TJ, I don't know how you feel about that, but I kind of view LeBron would still be the same guy. And if the way the fans were reporting is right, like he wants to be around to see when his son makes it into the league also, and possibly play with or against him. But I still think that this LeBron James that we're seeing, this would still be the same guy, TJ.
Listen, the LeBron is the way he is because he spends $1 million on his body every year. He's got a dietitian. He's got a chef. I'm sure he's got a couple of personal trainers, shooting trainer, a CrossFit trainer, whatever, to keep his body in peak condition for an 82-game season plus the playoffs, which he's usually in anyway, to make that run. So, once you get in a routine like that, it's hard to break. The workouts are different because you're getting older, but you're still hungry to prove that you still a man in the league. Like, you ain't falling off. Because those young boys are trying to come at him every night. Come on, old man. I see what you did to my pops. You know what I'm saying? I want a piece of that. And he's still going at him. He's still going. He's still dunking on people. He's still, playing at. I mean, his jumpers got completely better from the time he started till now. That's his passion right now. That's what he wants to do. And when he stops, you'll see it. Or he's just gonna quit. You know what I'm saying? When he stops, you'll see it.
Kurt said he can't escape MJ's shadow. And now people are ramping up Kobe to say, wait a minute. See, now, here's the thing, and Tyrone, you definitely being the Kobe guy. Here's my point of view on it, especially with this whole three-way comparison situation. To me, part of the reason why Kobe Bryant doesn't get elevated into that conversation, though he has every right to stake his claim as one of the top, some could even say top 5, top 3, top 2, the guy just under Jordan. But to me, the point of view is because he emulated Jordan almost to a T, it felt like in some ways we got Jordan at home already. You know what I'm saying? to where LeBron is doing it from a different position. He does a lot of the same things that they both did. It's just it falls back to what I've always mentioned on a day-to-day basis. It falls back to what and I say day-to-day basis, meaning when we're in these conversations, I always bring this up. What attached you the most to your child? What was attached to your childhood the most? And most of us in our age range, Michael Jordan was the end all be all. And a lot of people keep them closed minds to where nothing is better than what I grew up on, so nobody will ever be better than Michael Jordan, even though they don't do the knowledge on the sports to see people won way more before than Michael Jordan. But they add all these other little variables and bullshit excuses to just, again, prop up their favorite shit. Prop up their favorite. And that still happens to this day now with LeBron, where people like me, I appreciate and I'm respecting the legacy that we watched build from high school. I didn't see Jordan's legacy build from his junior year of high school when he first started to play basketball. You know, I was young, but I wasn't watching college basketball at that young ass age to understand, okay, he did what he did in college. You know, there were certain players I did because Patrick Ewing, I knew who he was back in Georgetown, and he became my favorite player of all time. You know what I'm saying? But also, too, with him being my favorite player of all time, I am not ashamed to say, seeing Shaq's career from college and up, Shaq is a better center than my favorite. You know, doing knowledge on fucking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem is, to me, Kareem is the best player in basketball history, just off of the amount and what he's won from the beginning, from high school level straight through. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, there's nobody better than him. But for some reason, the people in our age range, you're just stuck on 6 rings and forgetting it's 666. 6 rings, 6 finals MVPs. Series never going past 6 games. You know, I don't know who. I said I wasn't giving love to Facebook users, but you say who you are. It says, "What is legacy in modern basketball?" Really, it's building. It's growing. We're seeing it happen before our eyes. How, like, what is legacy? The fucking Golden State Warriors and the core winning 4. 73-9. Yes, they lost the championship that season. But this is the legacy stuff that we're building and we're seeing.
I'm not caught up in my childhood. I'm not caught up in the winning of the rings or none of that. I value what I see more than anything. That's why I'll tell anybody that I think that Peyton Manning is a better quarterback than Tom Brady. Because
I say that too.
What I've seen Peyton Manning do on the field, I've not seen Tom Brady do. You see what I'm saying? And so my thing with Michael Jordan is that I have not seen anybody do the things that Michael Jordan has done, except for Kobe. I have not seen nobody else do the things Michael Jordan has done. Even though LeBron, number-wise, he can do it. Even though LeBron, health-wise, he can do it. It don't look the same when LeBron does it as Michael Jordan did it, as Kobe Bryant did it. I can watch Michael Jordan have a 40-point game, and I can watch LeBron have a 40-point game, and Mike shit, to me, to my eyes, just looks better, just looks smoother, just looks different. Mike's jumpers look smoother. LeBron's jumpers look like luck sometimes to me. You know what I'm saying? Mike driving the lane just looks smoother. His movements, his leg movements, the way he acts, the way he responds. He just looks more better doing what he
had
does.
a better swag. He had a better swag when he did it. That's all.
You know what I mean? And so that's where it's at for me. And my whole thing with Kobe is this. The argument with Kobe is this. If you tell me that Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player to ever play, and the closest thing to him is Kobe Bryant, as far as skill set, as far as how he looked, as far as the things that he's done on the court. How can Michael be number 1 and Kobe not be in the top 10? How does that make sense? And when people tell me Michael Jordan is the greatest thing they ever seen, and Kobe is the closest player to Michael Jordan, but he don't rank near him in as far as ranking, that don't it just don't make sense to me. And so that's how I rock with that.
No, I get it.
Listen,
Like, go ahead, TJ.
I think everybody's favorite player, if we were all being able to see him play, was Wilt Chamberlain. Because this dude put up video game numbers. I saw a stat line of like 53 points, 22 rebounds, 13 assists, and 12 blocks. Like, who the fuck is doing that in a game, dog? You want to
And
talk
not to
about
cut
the
you,
stat sheet? That shit is
and not to
nuts.
cut you, just to build on what you're saying. People need to stop that nonsense of, yeah, but he played against school teachers and bus drivers. No, he played against the best of his era. And that's the part of the conversation people always leave out, TJ.
Always. But he destroyed them, bro. There's the man averaged what 50 points in one season with like 20, almost 20, even like 50, 20, and 10 or something ridiculous. That's insane. That's insane. He was a monster. Everybody be walking around here with Chamberlain shit on if they saw
Yeah,
him back in the day, like right now.
but
Everybody be rocking his shit because he was
but
such a monster.
but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Wilt Chamberlain was such a monster. Wilt Chamberlain averaged all that. Wilt Chamberlain did what he did, right? But does he have a greater basketball skill set than Michael Jordan? No, he does not. No, he doesn't. Michael Jordan has a greater skill set than Wilt Chamberlain. You see
You
what I'm
can't
saying?
compare the
Like,
two.
like,
You
like
can't
Chris
compare the
just
two,
said,
first of all, because
like
one
Chris
is
just
way
said,
taller. Go ahead.
Wilt was a GOAT athlete overall.
Right.
So I get what you're saying, Tyrone. Like, again, Jordan's finesse and the way he made things look easy, the way he made the impossible, what looked like the impossible happen, which in my eyes, call me Jordan hater, which I've always been, though I have the utmost respect for the man. A lot of the shit that man has done, and even a lot of the shit that we've seen some of these athletes do, we've seen street ballers do this same shit. They just ain't getting paid for it. They just ain't in the NBA court for it because the rest of their game doesn't match the fucking NBA game. But a lot of these, like, yo, I mean, when you go back and look at Jordan's fucking fancy ass moves of then, they look pedestrian compared to what some of these athletes can do now. But the difference is that these athletes did not have the complete game that Michael Jordan had. You know what I'm saying? But it's like people got and people got impressed off of, to me, okay, that looked cool. Great. Hooray. But again, I'm sorry. This conversation wasn't about who's the fucking GOAT, even though that's kind of, is kind of where it's been. We're supposed to be leading into LeBron and all of that shit, but the comments have been going crazy. Like let me try to get back to some of these. Ed says the difference in this era is that the athlete has much more control of their brands than in the 90s, where you rely on junk suckers like Amar Rashad and mainstream media. That's what you had. That's what you had back then. He made a comment about how the difference in legacy today was more about you're building your brand. I know Chris made a comment stating he said, Michael, here it is. Michael Jordan, my MJ was a warrior of the highest order, the first ever franchise two guard. That whole warrior aspect of things, this again comes with evolution and growing up. We have to take a look back and really understand in some respects, yes, it was amazing. Ronnie Lott got his pinky cut off to continue the game, things like that. Post-career, look at some of those warriors compared to today's somewhat smarter athletes. Now, not adding in Anthony Davis, and there's no shade. It's just Mr. Glass just can never stay healthy, no matter how hard he tries. That's different. But this is where we can this is where I got to say the whole, like, when TJ mentioned LeBron puts $1 million in his into his body each and every year, like post-career LeBron is going to be able to walk away a lot healthier than probably a lot of those people who were the Warriors, the greatest of those past eras, because of smarts, because of sports science has advanced, technologies and things like that is advanced.
I, I honestly believe that these dudes they just ain't putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? I just don't believe they putting in the work because that's my thing. I mean, I don't believe AD. You say no matter how hard AD tries to stay healthy, how do we? I don't think my man's trying to stay healthy. My man knows he's fragile and that he shows up fragile every year. I don't see him bulked up. I don't see him. I don't know if this man is putting in the work that he got to put in to make sure he ain't fragile. And you see
So
Zion Williamson showing up to work fat as fuck. This team is
so
hitching their whole wagon to him, and he's showing up fat.
Ty, how many Kobe stories you heard where the guys were coming back at the club at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and they saw Kobe working out? That's the difference. How is your level of how is your level of desire to want to be the best? These guys in here that you said in the league, some of them don't want to be the best. Some of them don't need to be the best. They're gonna play their role, get their money in 5 to 10 years. Hopefully, they can hang around for 10 years, and then it doesn't matter after that. They're out,
This dude
and they're
said that
$100 million in the game.
this dude said that Ninja AD gets hurt putting on lotion. But here, I wanted to answer this one quick. Chris, Facebook.com/StreamYard so we can see your name, because once again, if your name says Facebook user, I'm gonna stop showing love. Though you're making a lot of valid points here, right? But you asked the question, real question. When was the LeBron era? 2014 to now? Kawhi, LeBron, Curry, Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid. 90 to 98, it was Jordan.
The LeBron era started really with when he went to Miami.
The LeBron era started when he got into the fucking league. But one piece of angle that I always take within this type of discussion when it comes to LeBron James, because once again, people keep Michael Jordan way up here past where you can even see where my hand is, right? And they keep him up there. And again, we're watching his career grow from our age groups that saw Michael Jordan and was ultimately impressed by everything he did. Nobody wants to see their favorite get surpassed.
Wait. But here's my thing. I don't give the era a name to a player that don't have the right to earn the era. Like there's no Kobe Bryant era for me. Okay, there's a Michael Jordan era because there was a time in basketball where Michael Jordan completely dominated basketball. He's the only one for me that's had an era of domination. That Bird and Magic had an era of domination because it was either Larry Bird or Magic Johnson during them years. Michael Jordan had an era of basketball because I can call it Jordan era because it was a time when Jordan dominated. Kobe didn't have no Kobe Bryant era. I mean, Tim Duncan was one during his era. Shaq was a part of that. So it wasn't the Kobe Bryant era because Shaq was there, Tim Duncan was there. A lot of people won during that time. LeBron James don't have no era. For me, it's not a LeBron James era. A lot of people won. Kobe Bryant won 2 championships during the time LeBron James was there. Steph Curry won more championships than LeBron at one point in time. So there's no LeBron James era. That's just the era of basketball.
The reason where I could be different, I agree with that. Yes, it's just the era of basketball. But the reason where I could say that is different because for at least a good 10 plus years, I know I wasn't alone in saying this because we used to say this on the podcast all the time. LeBron James could have and should have been the league's MVP almost each and every year.
His first 6 years. His first 6 years, absolutely.
And even beyond that, every year with Miami, every year, the years he went back to Cleveland and put Cleveland over. When he went to LA, he was always the best player on his team that made the team's difference as far as who was great. The difference is it goes back to what Tyrone mentions in you ain't win shit if you didn't win the championship. And so, yes, there were a lot of players within this past decade plus that's won championships. But like I said, for me personally, my own opinion, everybody was looking for that next who to talk about. And Giannis finally pulled it off. But Giannis was the talk of the town until he pulled it off. You know, what's his name? Fucking Joker was the talk of the town until he finally pulled it off, which Denver just won last year. You know, Steph was putting people on skates each and every year when they were winning championships. And they did had a mini dynasty, things like that. But even still, the conversation still would be surrounded around, yeah, but LeBron James is still the best player in the league. Of course, he didn't put it all together, which ties me into this comment right here of Ray Allen saved his ass, because every fucking great player needs a team around him. How many times was Michael Jordan's ass saved?
Here's the other.
Yeah, he passed the ball every time in the last minute.
But here's the reverse part of it, and I can go back to Kobe. Tim Duncan won an MVP when Kobe had better stats that whole season, but the Lakers didn't win.
And I know where you're going.
Steve Nash won 2 MVPs when Kobe was the best player in the NBA. So
Kobe was the best player on a team that was in like 12th place, bro.
He was the best player in the league.
He was playing, but he was playing with Smush Parker. You're not going to give an MVP to a person that won less than like 30 games, bro. You can't win.
So here's my thing. So the MVP. So when people say, "Oh, LeBron could have won the MVP every year," yeah. Well, Kobe had years when Dirk won, when Duncan won, when Steve Nash won, and he could have won the MVP too. I don't value that. I don't value that at all.
No, I knew you was going there because I feel you. Because yes, when Kobe was in the league, there was multiple times he got screwed out of MVPs. But the difference with Kobe's era too was it's like, yes, sometimes his stats was better, but even still, Shaq was still viewed as the number one guy in them Lakers teams. And that's kind of part where when you're on the same team with another all-time great, and in some ways you can't overshadow said all-time great, that's where that whole thing kind of gets in the mix. But I agree with you. There's been years where Kobe Bryant should have been MVP and he wasn't.
Dan, Kobe was putting up monster numbers on some shitty Lakers teams, though. Some of them teams didn't even make. Some teams didn't make the playoffs, and it's hard to give an MVP to a team that's shitty like that. And he could be the best player. Yeah, he's the best player, but if he was that great, he would at least carry his team to the playoffs. But he was on some historically bad Lakers teams, bro. And you know what I'm talking about, Lisper.
Yeah, TJ, and how many historically ass and trash teams did LeBron bring to the finals, even in losses?
That part, yeah. Any team with Eric Snow in it is trouble, bro.
You know what I'm saying? But the point of this conversation wasn't even to get into this dumbass debate of who's better. You know what I'm saying? This was supposed to help us transition into Tyrone's Lakers winning the damn in-season tournament that many of us are still to this day. But Tyrone, you had points you wanted to make about this tournament, even though your team won.
I like the tournament concept. I like the whole idea. I like all of it because you come to a point where you say certain teams like the Lakers, if they're in contention, like teams that are in contention, that know that they're going to make the playoffs, that know that they're going to win 50 games, that know that they're going to have a top seed in the playoffs. You go through these times where they go through lulls during the regular season where they don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? A couple of games here and there, they playing bad teams, they don't give a fuck. So now when you put in this in-season tournament to say, hey, these games are going to count for something, you put them in the time before the holidays, you know what I mean? You do. It works out because now these teams are like, hey, we got something to play for. So we're going to give a little bit more effort. We're going to try to win these in-season tournaments. I like that. I like the $500,000 because some players don't make a lot of money. Everybody ain't making the millions, and them $500,000 can help families. And it also gives people like LeBron or other people like that that expendable cash. That goes to charity. LeBron ain't spending that 500 grand. That 500 grand for LeBron is going to somebody's family, maybe going to somebody's Christmas, all of that. You know what I mean? I appreciate all of that. What I don't like is that the Lakers are jumping around and celebrating like this is some big time fucking accomplishment when it's really a bullshit tournament. It's a money grab. It's like a pump it up, enthusiastic thing, and it gets fans more involved in regular season games and all that. But for real, that NBA Cup ain't worth a damn. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, and I halfway don't agree with you because this is its inaugural season of it. So here's the again, it kind of goes back to the way we were just arguing. If LeBron and the Lakers didn't win it, this would be used as a knock against him. He did win it. I've been seeing posts, people were using it as a knock against him. How does this add to his legacy? TJ, and again, yes, Chris, Jordan hate, you get that from me all day. If they did this shit in the 90s and them Chicago Bulls also won these said tournaments, would we ever hear the fucking end of it?
Never. You know why? Because Jordan loved fucking Vegas. So who you think? Who you think? He was like, yo, there's a $500,000 check for me after I win all this shit for free? For free? This is going to be light work. Everybody's eating. Jordan would have bought like 2 new Lambos and a Porsche with that money. You know what I'm saying? Back then, he wasn't fucking around. He would have just blew that all on gambling. But to be popping bottles for an in-season tournament, though, it's a bit much. That's a bit much.
That's why I ride
popping bottles.
That's why I ride with you, because it does look like a bit much. But once again, it's something new. It's its first year.
Yeah,
we just take it for where it is for right now. So what if we was in them fucking teams, you know what the fuck all three of us would be doing, TJ?
What?
Exactly what the fuck you just said.
Everything
you said.
Hold on, come on.
We be doing some shit. We be doing some shit.
Listen. The way it looks to me is disturbing. It looks like LeBron is going to be satisfied with not winning the championship because he got this little bullshit. He was in there all happy. He was telling his teammates, y'all don't know about this, popping the champagne. And this ain't the big dance. The job ain't done. It ain't over. But now I feel like the Lakers winning this tournament.
Wait a minute.
At least I won something this year. You know what I mean?
Wait a minute.
He's going to be satisfied with this little bum-ass NBA Cup instead of the real trophy.
Nah. See, this could be the exact opposite. They got a taste. They got a taste of what winning it all would be like. This is a taste. This is the appetizer. This ain't the main meal. This is the appetizer. And LeBron saying, yo, you think this shit is wild? Wait till you get that ring. It's 10 times crazier.
And
that's you don't have to pay for a meal in this city ever again in your life. Because you on that team. You're going to be cemented for life at that.
And that's where I see both of your points, because both is valid. Like, yeah, the problem behind all of this is LeBron's name is attached to it. And his name is always triggers all basketball fans who definitely hold the pole of Michael Jordan. Sorry to bring his name up again. But I feel what Tyrone was saying of you take this for granted and it's like, yeah, we did it all. And then complacency can set in. But when you think about complacency and LeBron James, I don't put those two and two together. I don't see it. But what TJ also said is this could be that marker that lets you know, yo, we can do this shit. And it could put the battery in the back of those bench players and other role players to say, yo, this shit could feel even bigger once if we get to the promised land.
You know what it presents me as? It presents me as a taste of bullshit. It presents me as a taste of making these two teams, making the Lakers and the Pacers think that they the two best at something. When is we really saying that the Lakers and the Pacers could be the NBA Finals? I don't think so. I don't think neither one of them teams is going to the finals. So we got this whole thing where the Lakers and the Pacers are the two best teams in the league. No. What is this? What is this trophy, this
No,
NBA
no.
prove? Nothing.
Listen, listen, listen. The Pacers had to beat some good teams to get to that final. They beat a good Boston team. All right. It might have been a
One
one and
game.
done. You're right. But that gives them confidence going into the next time they play these dudes that they know they can man up and ball out with them. That's what it's doing. It's giving teams that didn't think they have a shot confidence going into the rest of the season and going forward towards the playoffs because now they got a little taste of what a playoff game might be, and they're like, "Oh, this is what I'm going to do next time because this is how they're playing me." The matchups ain't going to change, but it's just the frequency of how many times you play each other, and
That
that's where you got to get nice at.
that part, but also too, it makes me kind of roll back to thinking football for a second. Like football is one and done, right? And especially when it comes
Right,
to playoffs, any situation like that, right? Like
right.
Ed said, to me, to be honest with you, this is really what it could be. It's about plus the money grab. It's a good gauge of where you're at as a team. But let's think
Hmm.
about how many times, okay, you've won the championship because you got hot in a series at a certain time. You were no shade, but you were your New York Giants that got hot when it counted the most as a 6 seed in the playoffs. But then you look back, were they really the best teams? Sometimes teams who win the championship, yeah, you can claim you're the best because you made it to the mountaintop. But were they really the best teams? This is where the whole conversation sometimes becomes subjective. It becomes a very big subjective conversation. Sometimes you will get not this team, like many of those Patriots teams. No, they were the best team from start to finish. You know what I'm saying? And then they finally finished the job. Tournament wise, shit like that. This in-season tournament, I like what Tyrone said. It was a money grab. It was a very good money grab because it worked, because it had people invested, because they wanted to know, yo, how does this shit work? How is this thing working? Okay. It it would have landed totally like the hype around all of this shit. It would have landed and came off totally different if it wasn't the Lakers in that final to win the tournament. I imagine if it was like say it was like fucking like Sacramento and Indianapolis. People wouldn't be giving it this attention. People would be turning the conversation more to, oh, that's all them two bum ass teams is gonna get anyway. Good for them. Clap it up. You know what I'm saying?
I,
But it's
Yeah.
who's
I like
attached
it
to
as
it.
I like it as a money grab because it was a good money grab. It's not like when the studio puts out a bad movie and y'all know that movie was just a money grab because they had a good name attached to it or
Yep.
something in the studio.
Yep.
This was a good money grab. This was helping young players who don't make a lot of money get a couple of dollars right before the holidays. And like I said, the players who do make a lot of money, we know that money, that 500 grand is going to charity. We know it's going to a needy family. We know that they don't need that money. So this was a good, great thing. But what I'm saying, Dan, back to your point, a team getting hot and winning one game, you could say, okay, maybe they wasn't the best team. But I firmly stand on, if you win a series, you are the best team. I don't care how
Hmm.
if you win a series, you're the best team. Because ain't no team gonna beat you 4 out of 7 games if they're not better than you.
Yeah, I see that point. I feel that point because it always like the way that lines up too is again to counter my own point and to add on to what you said. You know how we go, it'll be like Denver won the championship, right? Denver won the championship, but then you go to the networks on television and then they're immediately doing projections for the next season. But they go straight to the teams with the biggest name celebrity athletes on them teams as the best teams. You know, am I wrong or am I wrong? You know what I'm saying? They do that
No,
shit.
you're right.
They do that shit all the time. So I totally get it because it then creates the argument of on paper versus who really did it. You know what I'm saying? And then again, if you get hot, you can get hot. Everybody can get hot. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can get hot. But to add before you get your point off, TJ, Ed made the most valid point about this tournament. Needed that big market team and star power to show the market what this could be.
Yeah. Now I'm just going back to Tyrone's point in the series, 4 out of 7 games. The best team. Was it because of the coaching and he figured out how to beat the best team, or the players were better versus that other team, or is it both?
Right. And it has to be, it has to be a combination of all of that. It has to be of a combination of proper game
But
planning.
some teams can play above their weight class with that, and I think that's because of the coaching. You know what I'm saying? To see adjustments that need to be made and tweaked to hang with said better team than it.
Yeah, no, but it's a mixture for anybody to win though, TJ. It's a mixture of everything you said. That's why
Hmm.
all of these sports, I that's why sometimes I hate when you discuss and we just want to prop up one individual player in all of these situations. You know,
Hmm.
again, I'm bringing Jordan's name up because that's everybody else's goal. But um, no Scottie Pippen. Would that have
No,
happened?
B.J. Armstrong, Dennis Rodman, Luke Longley,
Well,
Tony Kukoc.
why you say Luke Longley? Why you say
he
Luke
was
Longley?
part of
Luke
he's part
Longley
of
was
them teams
fucking
that won.
garbage.
Bill Cartwright.
And
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
every
No, no,
piece
no.
of the team is valuable
Yes,
down the
but at
bench.
the end, but at the end of the day, when it came down to it, at the end of the day, when the Bulls had to win a game, were they relying on Scottie Pippen or were they relying on Michael Jordan? You see what I'm saying?
They
No,
they
Michael
relied on
Jordan.
It comes to a point in some of these series where they need their guy. Like people always say about Kobe and Shaq. If Sacramento Kings had the Lakers beat and had not been for Kobe putting on some outstanding performances in those finals, I mean in them series before they got to the finals against them Kings, Shaq would have never made it. So it's like sometimes you have to be able to put your team on the back of one guy. Because if it wasn't for Kobe and them Kings series when Shaq was falling out and stuff like that, the Lakers would have never won them championships. So
Yeah,
sometimes you put one guy
Vlade
that
Divac
puts
was a
you on.
monster back then.
but also too, once again, if Jordan didn't pull the pressure, then John Paxson, Steve Kerr's, all these guys would have never got some of
Right,
them final shots off too. Again, it
right.
goes back to where, like I mentioned, it's a complete team game. All team sports are complete team games. Does it benefit you and help you to have that one above all? Absolutely. But everybody else needs to still play their role within the team. And like I gave the shout outs to people on benches too, because if you might not see the time in the game, but guess what your role was? You helped them starters get ready each and every day in practice. Every piece of a team is important. Every piece of a team is important. But piece of a team is important. We're talking about the big celebrity star. Though our Yankees got some excellent pieces in this offseason
Woo,
so far,
woo.
we're not talking about that. The Dodgers got a lot better, costing them $700 million. But from my opinion, TJ, every bit of that $700 million is worth it in Shohei Ohtani.
Bro, the dude just got soccer money. You understand what I'm saying? That's soccer money. Look up players in soccer. The middle, not even the top 10. Look up 15 through like 25. Them dudes is getting paid. Paid. And that's what Shohei Otani got because he's nasty when he's on the mound. Nasty. But he's even a bigger terror when he steps to the plate. Your man's bat is, you can't replace it, the numbers he puts up when he's hitting. Okay, so maybe he did sign a 10-year, $70 million. And maybe he pitches for the next 3 to 5 years. You know what them other 5 years are? DH. And that's all he has to do is crush the damn ball. The Dodgers are a very good team. The Angels had a lot of talent, but they always got hurt and they didn't know what to do with them. So the Dodgers definitely got better. I don't know if they'll be a perennial playoff team. I don't know if they'll be a perennial playoff team like the Atlanta Braves, always getting to the dance and losing, or because they haven't seemed to really cross that threshold yet. But they'll be all right. And I know we don't want to bring up our Yankees, but our lineup is starting to look very dangerous. And if our pitching could come back, we're going to be a problem. We're going to be a problem.
Word. But
Do y'all? I'm not amazed by the money because what do you pay? I don't even know what you offer to pay a guy like that. Like to understand the whole concept of like when I watch baseball and I grew up watching baseball, you love when it was the pitcher's turn to bat because you felt like, hey, we can get the pitcher out. We can get the pitchers always were focused on pitching. They never really tried to be good batters. They were like, hey, if I can get a first base hit, for my team, I'm good to go. So
So Ty, here's the difference, real quick. In Little League, in like Babe Ruth, for like over 18, 20,
making
all
my
the
point.
pitchers, all the pitchers hit, and these dudes was nice. These dudes could hit nice. I'm talking about these were elite athletes, and they were still nice at pitching. And the major league
Some of my
would
points.
force them to one or the other. But I'm gonna let you finish. So I'm gonna let you finish after that.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. So when I played football as a child, you play offense and defense. You play
Right.
everything. But when you go to the league, you can't play offense and defense in the NFL, right? So you focus.
But
Okay, I'm
but
gonna play
they've done it. There's
offense.
players that have done it.
Yeah, that's why Dion was an anomaly because he was like, I can do both. But most of the time, once you get
Right.
to the league, you're dedicated to whatever you are, and you dedicate yourself to that. So if you're a dedicated wide receiver, you ain't thinking about playing cornerback. Do you have the ability to go out there and maybe play cornerback? Yes. Any professional baseball player can hit. But are these pitchers
But
dedicated
but
to
they
hitting?
should though,
No,
Ty, because
they
that's who they're
should.
going against
Well,
every week. So they
I
should
bet
be
you,
thinking like a cornerback. You know what
I
I'm
bet
saying?
you, I bet you $700 million will make a lot more baseball players learn how to hit better
Yeah.
when they become
Let
pitchers.
me
I
let me
guarantee
let me
you
get
that.
at this now because like TJ mentioned, that's kind of where I wanted to lead. Everybody who played baseball, and I'm talking about this because this was the first game that I played team and organized growing up. Everybody hit. If you were one of the 9 players on that field, you were in the lineup. There was no such thing as a DH in Little League and above. There was no such thing. And on most teams in those levels of baseball, the best player usually could pitch, play another field position, and was a damn good hitter. That's always
Right. The pitcher wasn't an easy out in little league and
right.
junior high and high school ball. Nah.
To what Tyrone mentioned is 1,000% the truth because there was an era of Major League Baseball that you knew. And again, this was National League Baseball we had to look at because the American League used
Right.
DH.
Right.
National League Baseball. This is one thing that my father was a hell of a baseball player, but he would always say it. It's National League over everything. Why? Because everybody has to hit. Everybody's got to
This is
hit.
why
And
this is
and
why
and
those pitchers should have took more time to do batting practice and stuff like that. They didn't care though.
you would think, but guess what? When the amount of money is getting thrown at pitchers the way it was, what are you going to do? You're going to do exactly what
Pitch.
Tyrone mentioned
You
about
know,
football. You are going to stay dedicated to one position. It's different in football, and where once you get to the college ranks and the pro ranks, you are dedicated and assigned to one position. A large majority of it is
because financially there are scales that each position athlete gets paid at. And football owners, they're not trying to pay you the most. They're not trying to pay you the most. And so where again, like a Dion is an anomaly, like a what's his name, Brian Jordan, a couple other people who played in the major leagues and who played in the major leagues and in the NFL, you know, were different types of people on top of being able to play those, because in the NFL football, you get paid the weight of the position they pick you up at. But when it comes to baseball, and then again, the Japanese game, they don't do the shit that we do over here, where the American League side, the pitchers don't have to hit, they could be the divas of the field. And no, they do everything. And then too, their style of hitting in a way is totally different. Like I'm sure
They're contact hitters. They want to get on base. They want to push people across the base path. They're not trying to crush it, but they
and
do
so
have power hitters in Japanese baseball.
absolutely. So where to there, this guy is, as I was saying, once that deal came down, he deserves every penny of it because he's a fucking he's like the anomaly of all anomalies. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He's a special attraction
It's
athlete.
banging because you're.
What was you saying?
I was saying it's banging because it puts you in a position where you don't have to. Being a pitcher on a baseball team puts you in a position where mediocrity is praised and you can live off of that. Like for instance, you don't. You
Right.
can say I'm focused. No. You can say I'm focused on pitching, focused on pitching, focused on pitching. Right now, if you is got when it's your turn to hit, if you can hit a double, you is outstanding. Now, double ain't shit for real sometimes, but if you a pitcher that can hit a double or
A double
consistently
is
get on
yeah.
base,
always something.
no, I'm just saying, if
Yeah.
you're a pitcher that can hit, that can consistently get on base, you or get on base, or you know, you don't have to do much when you're hitting. It's just like Robert Ory.
Hold on.
Just like Robert Ory, right?
The-
Robert Ory went into every NBA game he ever played in his life and said, I possibly only got to make 3 shots this whole motherfucking game, and I can be a hero. So Robert Ory didn't give a fuck about being. Robert Ory could have probably been a better basketball player, but he didn't care. He was like, look, my role on this team, if I hit 3 shots this game, I'm the man. And that's the same way I think pitchers think. Like if I get on base and my 2 at bats or 3 at bats or whatever at bats I get, I'm going to be
Those are
praised.
big
You
because
know what I
they
mean?
flipped the lineup over, and now you got the best. You got the best hitters coming up. But the thing with Otani is, your man could strike out 300 batters and hit 40 home runs in the same
But
season.
that's my point.
That is
The mentality.
bananas.
That's my point. The mentality to say that if I'm mediocre at hitting, I'm still going to be a star. But I'm not going to be mediocre at hitting neither. I'm going to make sure I can hit too. Like
Now
that's
let me
crazy.
get now.
That's
now
Madison
that-
Bumgarner.
Now let me finish. Then let me get to finishing my points. And I'm glad you brought up that word of mediocrity. The game of baseball is the game of fucking mediocrity. Think about
You go
this.
3 for 10. You go
Think
to
about it
fucking.
on this. Think about it on this level. The best hitters ever hit over 300. You strike out or you hit out, ground ball out, fly out 70% of the time you are at bat. Pitching is to set up the mediocrity to where if you it's more outstanding to have an ERA in the ones than it is to have
In the 3.
than in the 300s in hitting. It's more outstanding because they have to defeat you. It's not a one-on-one game, but in some ways, baseball is a one-on-one game.
Yeah, because a pitcher can dominate an entire team.
Exactly. And each batter is one player at a time. That one person is responsible for adding in the ability to score a run or scoring a run.
Right.
You know, the game of baseball is just all mediocrity. But when you got a guy like this, like TJ said, you can have him, he can pitch and have a 1.6, 1.5 ERA and still put up 40 home runs and bat 275, 280.
That's irreplaceable.
Yo, it's those numbers like that are retarded. And then financially, he's just going from one side of he's going from Anaheim to into
He's
Los
going.
Angeles proper. You know what I'm saying? You go
He don't
he's
have to
going,
move out of his house. He don't
he
have to
don't have
move
to
out of his
move out of
house,
California. He is bringing the entire Japanese population with him unless they are diehards of a certain team. I
bro.
like I
Dodgers
said,
merch is gonna go through the roof.
as it if it doesn't already. I don't know what the flight distance is between LA and Japan, but if the globe is accurate, they're pretty close. I'm gonna look it up right now.
I think it might be an 8-hour flight.
I'm gonna look it up right now. 9
That
hours.
gotta be.
So
Ooh, I was close.
a 9 hour flight, a 9 hour direct flight for Japanese fans to come over to see their boy. Makes it closer than if he would have came to our Yankees, which I would have loved. But this dude is worth every bit of that 700 million. And yeah, it's
Dan,
ridiculous to talk about numbers that high, but he's gonna make the Dodgers that plus some.
did you see the pitcher the Yankees are trying to sign from Japan now? Yamamoto,
I heard about
three
it.
hundred million. Three
I
hundred
heard about
million is going the rate.
it. And we have a pretty damn good success record with Japanese
Japanese pitchers. Yeah,
with
absolutely,
Japanese athletes. We have a pretty good track record with them. But yeah,
absolutely.
but I mean, this is as title of the show. This is, I mean, beyond generational wealth. This is a legacy building kind of fucking moment contractually. This is a legacy building time period now for Shohei Ohtani in the major leagues. And just like with the NBA tournament, this is a different new legacy within the NBA's lore and history that we are now stuck with. And that's it. We done. That's really all we had to cover. The shit that I wanted to talk about, I want everybody to be here on, but I'm gonna throw this to y'all because this is gonna be something that we want to set up. Though most of these fantasy draft times and shit like that is done. Because of the question that I have for y'all as far as thinking about groups that like best represented you as a person, you know what I'm saying? So like I'm not expecting to hear y'all talking like, yeah, I'm like Mob Deep, like you wasn't shooting guns like that. But if there was still a level of aggression or something within Mob Deep and shit, like one of mine, and I'm not gonna say what really, really drove me to this question until we do that, but the aggression of MOP is like if I were to do a 180 is me. You know what I'm saying? Like if I were to do a 180 personality wise,
bro,
like that's
bro.
the level of I would get to. But we're gonna save all of that because what I'm going to do, and I'm gonna build this nice and slowly, we need all of us here, all 5 of us here on this episode, and then a couple of y'all from the our friends and shit from the show, friends of the show, to come on, and we're gonna do a full-on rap draft, and we're gonna draft this
Mm,
team like an NFL team, so we can build a full, nice, long show out of it. From quarter,
mm.
so this is how quarterback, running back, full offensive line, 1,
Two wide
7,
receivers
7, 2 wide receivers,
and a tight end.
tight end. That's only 10. So we'll give a fullback. We'll bring
Now,
it old school football.
and is it
We're
gonna be
gonna
like this? Like the offensive lineman got to be like Biggie and Big Pun?
no. I'm just laying it out on what we're gonna do, and then it's going to be, and then the next show will be drafting a complete defense. So it ain't gonna be like you
Damn.
can just select the Wu-Tang Clan as your defense, like we can do in fantasy, where you gotta select just one team's defense. We're gonna pick the defensive line, and we're going my favorite. We're going 4-3 defense. So you got to pick
I like that. 4 down linemen, 3
Four linemen,
linebackers,
3 linebackers,
and
2
2
corners, 2
corners and a
safeties.
safety.
2 corners, 2
Yeah.
safeties.
Yeah.
We're gonna draft it like that. So whoever got drafted offensively won't be able to get drafted defensively. But I'm going to pick a certain crop of people. And know this. I'm gonna leave y'all with this, and then we'll do final shout outs. Just to get all of y'all old head niggas out of the way, in the quarterback positions is where you're going to have your Biggies, your Pox, your Nas's, your Rakims, your KRS-Ones. So think about those names. The ones that everybody say is the top of the top, the goats, the goats, the goats. Those are going to be within the quarterback pool. And then once that
I like
quarterback
that.
pool is done, you can't pick them for other positions.
I
You
like
can
that.
only select who's in each pool of each position.
I can't wait to see how you label those positions. I'm ready.
I'm gonna lay this shit out, but TJ, you were late, so you go first.
Yo, thanks for having me. I know I was late. Apologize. Had a family event, but it's all good. Glad I came in uh towards the middle there, and another good show. As always, I listened to last week's show again last night. That was a really fucking good show. That was a really good show. I really liked that show. So we need more of that. Shout out to JG and Big O. Hope to see you guys next week. And I'm out.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I wish, I don't know. I wish we could have got into the rap thing because I was ready. You set us up to be ready, and I was ready for it. But I like this new concept is better. But Dan, with the new concept, is we all drafting our own teams or we drafted one team?
Our own team.
Okay, good, good.
Woo!
Good. Y'all, I'm gonna be cooking.
There's gonna be some
Cooking.
furniture moving, boy. There's gonna be some furniture
I'm gonna be
moving.
cooking. But yeah, so yeah, I enjoyed this show, and like I said, I enjoyed the in season thing. I think it's a good thing. I'm looking forward to it, and it's going to be great because I really don't. It's going to be great when it comes to time where a team that won the in season tournament wins the championship too. So I'm looking forward to all of that. And like I said, I always come here to have fun, and I enjoyed the show, and I'll see y'all next week.
Word.
We out. Peace.